Okay. Now, we are so fortunate to have a guest speaker today from an organization that we call USHLI, and it actually stands for the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute. This institute is actually run by Dr. Juan Andrade Jr., who is an amazing man who is one of 3 Latinos who was awarded a presidential award of merit for his work with leadership and with students just like you, and for the organization USHLI. He was awarded by former President Bill Clinton. And so he runs this organization called USHLI, and we are very fortunate that one of the top 3 Hispanic speakers in the nation, Mr. Jimmy Cabrera, is here with us today. He chose Apollo to come to. There's other guest speakers that are going to the other schools, but we are fortunate enough to get one of the top 3 Latino speakers in the country here today. And so he chose to come here to spread his wonderful message of motivation and resiliency to you. He is going to talk to you for the next hour. I would like for you, please, from actually Houston, Texas, I would like for you to give a round of applause to Mr. Jimmy Cabrera.
Well, thank you, Ms. Rosas. I think that's really sweet. And by the way, 8th graders, you can do better than that. Jimmy is in the house. Show your love. Come on, give it up. I know what you're thinking, this old fool. I may be older than you, but in this great gymnasium right here in Apollo Middle School, I am the best looking dude. Andale. Qué chulo, mijo, no? I can see some of you don't believe me. Maybe there's one student who thinks I'm kind of cute. Where are you? One student. Come on, hurry up. Andale, guy.
This one right here.
And your first name? Omar. Un aplauso, Omar. Hey, Omar, they're kind of laughing at you. They're not going to laugh after this. For saying I'm kind of cute, I'm buying you lunch. Here's $5. Andale, bato. Now, let me ask you a question. Anybody think I'm kind of cute? Oh, you changed your mind, huh? It's too late. Hey, Omar, they're not laughing now. Un aplauso. Thank you, senor. I guess the first lesson I want to teach you is this. It's not important what you think I look like. What's important is what I think I look like. Am I correct? Yeah. I was here earlier walking down the hallways early, watching all these little cholitos walk by, you know. Little dudes, andale, vato, what's up, man? And you think you're so different. I want you to know I remember 8th grade. I remember 6th grade. I remember 7th grade. Boy, that was a long time ago, okay? And they used to pick on me. Every school has bullies, am I correct? It's really sad, but there's bullies out there. Where I went to school in North Texas. You know where Clovis is? Anybody in Clovis, New Mexico? That's all right. Okay. Anyway, I was born in Texas and all that, and they used to pick on me. Anybody ever pick on you? Yeah, they used to pick on me, right? They used to call me names. They go like this, hey, Pancho. They go, hey, Mexican. Here, I thought it was a Mexican. I became a Mexican. How about this one? Hey, wetback. They go, hey, Tamale Joe. I just want to be Jimmy, you know. They used to pick on me, and I say, and the thing is, you know, I'm here to have fun with you, but also I want to give you a message. And I want to give you some ideas, hope that makes sense. First of all, I want to start off by saying hola. Hola. Come on, hola. Hola. We're going to be a little different. Anytime I say hola, your response is going to be 100. Here we go. Ready? Hola. 100. Hola. 100. Now you're catching on. I want you to know, when I went to school, we're the first Mexicans allowed to go to school there. Our schools were not integrated. No blacks went to school with us. They went to school across the tracks. And we were taught never go across the tracks. They used to, call me names and all that. You know, I told you. I remember the first black person I met, I was 12 years old. No, excuse me, 9 years old. I never saw a black person in my life. He walks by in this little town, I go like this. He was one tall dude. He goes like this. What are you looking at? I looked at my hands. I said, man, I thought I was dark. I said. He wasn't laughing, okay? I took off running. And that's how it was back then, back when I was little and all that. And I had no dreams. Let me show you what I mean. How many of you right now have a desire to go to college? Look at that. Give it up. Un aplauso. Come on, give it up. Back then, we didn't have that situation. We didn't have that. And I thought about, why go to school? I didn't want to live. I had such a low self-esteem. I didn't care about myself. I'm going to show you a picture of what I wanted to be when I was your age. Are you ready? This was my dream. If someday I could look like this. What do you think? What's up, dog? What's up, dog? Hey, by the way, when I was your age, we didn't call ourselves cool dudes. We were called hot dogs. Being a Mexican, I was a chili dog, vato. I wanted to be a pachuco. Some of you don't know what the word pachuco means anymore. We don't use it that much anymore. A pachuco is a game banger, un cholo, un bandido. I want to put a tattoo across here, and a tattoo across here, and a tattoo across here. Wear my pants low, make sure my little crack shows. Andale. Learn how to walk. You may say yes. What do we say to be cool in Spanish? Simón. How about no? Chale. We say ese, right, for dude, right? Hey. Hey, by the way, my brother was a pachuco. My brother was a gang leader. Small town, big gang. 5 people. He dropped out of school. He was 17 years old. 8th grade. I want to be just like him. My brother, sir, could jump up in the air. I can't do it this high. I can't do it. By the time his foot hit your nose, a knife came across your face. I never saw a man do that. He was something else. I want to be just like him. I'll show you what I mean. Let's say, for example, you're Jimmy, okay? Whatever I say yes. You got it? Here we go. Hermanito, you want to be like me? Yes. Don't give me a wimpy yes, vato. Con ganas. You want to be like me? Andale. He takes out his knife, I'll never forget this, and he puts it in my forehead. You feel that? Yeah. I did too. He goes, hermanito, which is? Little brother, if you ever put a tattoo on you, I will cut the sucker out. Then he said this, if you drop out of school, I will bury you. You notice I had no tattoos? And I graduated. Isn't that cool I graduated? Un aplauso, come on, I graduated. You probably say, pues, ¿qué es tu punto ese? What's my point? I don't know, young people, 8th graders in this room, and those watching right now, the 6th and 7th graders. I don't know how many of you have somebody that loves you so much that put the fear of God in you to make sure you do something with your life. Am I correct? Thank you. Give those people a hand that kind of come about you. Yes, my brother regrets dropping out of school. The highest paying job he's ever had was $10 an hour. He's going to be 74 years old. I love him dearly. He's always helped me, promoted me. He's always encouraged me. But maybe that's not what it's all about. Am I correct? He had the highest paying job, teachers, in that down, 75 cents an hour. He took 1/4 out of every hour, gave it to my dad to help to put 2 brothers in college, my brother Mike and I, because he said, don't you waste your life like I did. Am I correct? Why do I say that? How many of you, by show of hands, have somebody in your family or friends ever dropped out of school? Look around you, would you please? Everyone, all of us, am I correct? Put your hands down. Here you are, 8th graders. You're the leaders of Apollo, am I correct? That's pretty weak. Are you the leaders of Apollo? Yeah! Then what's going to be your legacy, 8th graders? What are you going to leave behind for the 7th and 6th graders to follow you to make sure they make this the greatest campus ever, am I correct? The greatest class ever. You realize in your life, and the thing about it is, how are you going to do it? That's why I want to give you a few ideas today, and that is, what's in your what? Backpack. En español, ¿qué llevas en tu qué? Mochila. You can't see it, but I got my backpack on right now. It's kind of cute, isn't it? You can't see it? It's invisible, just like right now, all of you got a backpack on. I call the backpack of life. And by the way, maybe you need a big backpack like this one, am I correct? Oh, let me show you mine. I got a real big one. Andale. I spoke at the school last week. This guy hollered, that's a purse. Okay, it's a purse. This belongs to my daughter. Her name is Cabrera. She's 32 years old. But this was her little backpack purse in the 7th grade. She's going to throw it away. I said, don't throw it away. That's when I got my idea of what's in your backpack. You see, young people, it's not the size of your backpack. It's what you have what? In it. Am I correct? You see, I know what's in my backpack. Anytime I'm down, anytime I need something, I reach into my backpack of life to survive this thing called world. My education, and no one can take that away from me, am I correct? My self-esteem, my motivation, my integrity, my character is in my backpack. Right now, 8th graders, you got to determine what you're going to put in your backpack for the rest of your life. It's going to carry you. And yes, I am older than you. By the way, I am a very young chicken. I'm only 69 years old. I look good, don't I? Anybody think I look good? I want to make sure I still look good, okay? You see, even in my age, young people, right now, I reach in my backpack when I need something in my life. You got to load your backpack, especially when you leave this thing called campus. Right now, 8th graders, you're the kingpins on this campus. You're it. You see a 6th grader, you go, hey, 6th grader. They go, come in, sir. Next year, you're going to be in high school. They say, hey, freshman, hey, boy, I'm coming. Now, like what Mrs. Rosa did a while ago, she asked you point blank, are you a little nervous about going to high school? Yes. It's okay. Give yourself permission to be nervous. But be prepared, am I correct? You have only what? Here, this month is about over. In 2 or 3 weeks will be the Christmas break. Now, all of a sudden, you only got one more semester to get your backpack ready when you transition into high school, am I correct? You got to be ready. And you're going to go to different high schools possibly. That's why I want to talk to you about in your backpack. I like participation. Help me out. You got to believe in who? Yes. Believe in who? Yes. You got that right. You got to believe that you can be ready. You got to believe that you can pass. You can believe you're going to be ready in your backpack. And by the way, in the world today, there's 6.8 to 7 billion people. Am I correct? And by the way, are you ready? Yes. There's only one Jimmy Cabrera. Whee! There's only one of me. And by the way, there's only one of who? You. There's only one of you, young people. No one is like you. You're so unique. Our Creator made you in the perspective of this. I'm going to use you. Take advantage of that. Don't compare yourself to other people. Am I correct? Don't compare yourself. I know some of you out this morning got up when you took a shower. Last night you took a shower. I hope you did. You got in front of the mirror and you're all naked. Okay, you go like this. Ay, Dios mío, God help me. And you get these magazines. I don't look this good. I love you too. It's all airbrush, am I correct? You're different. from anybody else in the world. That's why, young people, you have to understand who you are is where you draw your what? Strength. Who I am is where I draw my strength. What am I saying? Stay connected to your what? Roots. Sus qué? Raíces, am I correct? Stay connected. By the way, who you think lived in this little house? Thank you, I did. And don't you feel sorry for me. This is a story. Who lived here is my mother, my daddy, my grandmother, and 4 boys until I was 5 years old. Thank you, I'm the baby. Que chulo. Well, my parents taught me one thing, 8th graders, is this. Never be ashamed of who you are, your family, where you live, or what? Anything. Nunca tengan la pena, la vergüenza de quién eres, am I correct? Donde viven, su familia, o de qué? Nada. And I mean no disrespect on this campus right here. I'll guarantee, Ms. Rosas, I'll guarantee you may have a few students on this campus. I don't care if you're 8th grade, 7th grade, or 6th grade. You have people on this campus, they will not take their friends home because they're ashamed of where they live. Some of you may not bring your parents here because they can't speak English or they're not educated. Why are you ashamed? Some of you will not go to the mall with your parents because they embarrass you. You ever thought you embarrassed them? We got to put up with you, am I correct? Put up with us. Some of your parents have never had teenagers. They have no clue, young people, how to deal with you. Don't be so hard from them. How many of you right now, your parents, first generation, came from south of the border? Hold up your hands. Where are you? Thank you. Am I correct to assume they left what? Mexico, Panama, Salvador, can I name them all? Honduras, with a new culture, and here they are. They understand our culture here. A big transition. It's a shock to them. So don't be so hard on them. And by the way, young people, my parents taught me one thing. Being poor and Mexican is no excuse for what? Failure. Am I correct? How about being poor and white, being poor and blind? Can I give you a bonus? How about being rich and Mexican? There's no excuse for what? Failure. You see, where I went to school, we didn't have free and reduced lunches. Y'all have that here? Well, you know what I mean. You get your lunches. Am I correct? We didn't have that. Mondays to make our lunch little taquitos con papa y huevo. That's a flour tortilla with what? Potato and egg. And I was in the cafeteria by myself because no one was set with me. I was a little brown boy, a dark brown boy. And I would eat my taquito. Sad, didn't care. I don't want to live. I look around, no one looking at me. Eat my little taquito. This one kid walks by. He goes, "What are you eating?" I didn't say anything. I go, "What do you eat?" He goes, "I'm eating a bologna sandwich." I said, "¿Qué?" I never saw a bologna sandwich in my life. Little square thing. And I go, "What's that?" He goes, "You're stupid." I said, "Thank you." He says, I said, "What is a bologna sandwich?" He says, "Sandwich." Okay, sandwich. We traded. The next day we traded. I opened that sandwich. What does he put on there? Mayo. I never saw that. I started licking the cállate. This is good, man. The next day we traded. Then all of a sudden I got smart. I told Mother, "I'm hungry. Please make me 10 tacos." Anybody guess what I did? No, I didn't trade him. I had my little Jimmy taco stand. I sold them for 10 cents each. Hey? Not bad, huh? You said, "That's a joke." Let me show you. Back then we had a school store. We didn't call it a convenience store. We had a school store. Gave everything dirt cheap to all the kids. 1 6-ounce Coca-Cola, a bag of chips, and a piece of bubble gum for 10 cents. Not bad, huh? I was never broke. Once a year, we didn't know we're poor. Once a year, Mother bought me 1 pair of jeans to go to school. This was August. We walked in the store. I'll never forget this. I was excited. 9 years old. I'm going to get a pair of jeans, pair of pants. I walked in. The guy says, "What do you want?" I said, how many buy pants? I couldn't say jeans. I want to buy pantalones, pants. He goes, get out of here. I said, what? Get out of here. We don't sell to Mexicans. I said, what do you mean? My mother couldn't speak English. She said, Mexicans, get out of here. I told my mother, but she was a proud woman. She said, we're going to walk out with pride. She was a tall woman. You ever see a tall Mexican woman? Yeah. 5'2". You've seen them, right? She goes, hola, mijo. She turned around. I was on the floor crying my eyes out. I was ashamed of the color of my skin. I thought of this. I'm going to confess to you right now, young people, for 2 seconds. I have never thought of it again, but for 2 seconds, I was crying, and I said, I wish I was white. Because I thought the only way I'll make it if I was white. And my mother looked at me. She couldn't say Jimmy. She goes, Jimmy, levanta la cara, which is what? Your name, sir?
Javier.
Javier, obviously you don't want to be here. You want to leave it? Okay. Then don't disturb the guy behind you. Is that cool? Ready? Hola! Hola! She said, mijo, levanta la cara. And I go, I don't want to, mother. She goes, vale más que levanta la cara. You better get your face up. I don't want to. My mother could pinch. Can your mother pinch? Yes. It doesn't hurt here. Where'd it hurt? When they pinch you where? Under the arm. You know that, right? She pinched me and I go, yeah, mother, yeah, mother. We lived 10 blocks on the store and she pinched me for 10 blocks. I will never forget the lecture. She was crying. It was so hot that day. You ever get hot in Tucson? Yes. I know it does. It was so hot back then. We didn't have air conditioner. You could smell each other for 20 blocks. Now that's hot, folks. And she grabbed me by the shoulders. I was 9 years old. You feel that, sir? You feel that? You feel that? I still have her thumbprint right here. She picked me up, senor. I can't do it. Crying, all her makeup running down. And she screamed in my face, right in my face. She says, mijo, 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 mijo. Tú no eres basura, mijo. Tú no eres basura, mijo. Dios no hace basura, young people. The Lord took my mother 33 years ago and I still miss her. That woman shook me to make me realize that I'm not trash. Am I correct? And ever since that day, my head has never come down. I walk with my what? Head up. And I'm proud of who I am. I may be darker than you, but I'm better looking. Andale. And some of you in this room, you know who you are. You can't look in the mirror because you don't like yourself. You're not trash, am I correct? She put her hand behind my head, I'll never forget this, and buried my face into her bosom. I couldn't turn my head. I couldn't breathe. I said, voy a morir aquí, I want to die right here. Hey, I don't want to gross you out, but to this day, in my mind, I can still smell her sweaty body. Is that gross? Not to me. Let me explain. I'll say it in Spanish and I'll say it in English. Escúchame bien, latinos. Fue una mujer, una madre que planchaba 5 a 40 camisas en un día por 10 centavos la camisa. She would iron 5 to 40 shirts in one day for 10 cents each. That's washing them, drying them, starching them, and ironing them to help Daddy put food on the table. We didn't make tamales once a year. We made tamales twice a year. Not 2 dozen, 250 dozen. Back then it took a 2-week process to sell them door to door for 50 cents a dozen. On a Friday morning, my mother and my grandmother would get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, make fresh corn tortillas all day, and cook the sauces all day and the meat all day on a Friday night in July to sell enchiladas for $2 a dozen. Daddy had 2 or 3 jobs because they said our children going to school. You see, Daddy made it to the 1st grade. Mother made it to the 2nd grade. But they said their children are going to get an education. Am I correct? And by the way, your parents may not have much, but what they got is what they got. Am I correct? And some of you so hard on them, young people don't understand. Hope this is not too silly for you. Whoever you live with, who takes care of you, is your parents, your uncle, your grandparents, whoever you live with. Do me a favor, please, give them a hand. Un aplauso, give them a hand. You've heard the phrase, am I correct? Stick and stone may break my bones, but what? Words will never hurt me. That's a lie. Can I prove it? Do words hurt? Yes. What am I talking, 8th graders, middle school? My parents taught me one thing, young person. They said, son, you're not a Mexican. What am I? Mexican. I'm a Mexican. Oh, we're a bunch of Americans. Hey, how about Native Americans? Oh, hope we're not a bunch of Africans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. I guess we all what? Can. And by the way, what's this letter right here? I can. That's what's in my backpack. What's in your backpack? You know, when I was in the 8th grade, I was doing my geography lesson in the living room. And there was a table there. Daddy came by, and Daddy said, hey, Mijo, what's this? I said, it's a map. I'm in school. I was smarter than him. You know, he only went to the 1st grade, okay? I was smarter than him. I'm 8th grade. Andale. He goes, Mijo, show me where I was born. ¿Dónde nací, Daddy? ¿Dónde nací, Mijo? Daddy, right here. Cállate, Daddy. Jalisco, Daddy. Guadalajara. Jalisco, Daddy. He goes, really, mijo? Yeah, he says, son, what do you call this? I said, that's North America. Y aquí? Well, Daddy, this is South America. And what's he call this? Central America. He goes, really? He takes my shirt and he pulls it. He says, mijo, somos todos americanos. Here I thought the only people in the U.S. were what? Americans. What's in your backpack, young person? Put the good stuff in your backpack, am I correct? Oh, I spoke in the school in South Texas. This guy looks at me, Mr. Jimmy, I'm proud. I go, what do you mean you're proud? He goes, my mother's Mexican, my dad is black. He goes, I guess I'm a Blaxican. Spoke in New Mexico. You know where Hobbs, New Mexico is, anybody? I spoke there and the guy looks at me, Mr. Jimmy, I'm BMW. I said, como BMW? He goes, BMW. He goes, I'm black, Mexican, and white. I talked to a girl in Chicago, a senior in high school. She said, Mr. Jimmy, I'm a map. I said, what do you mean map? M-A-P. I'm Mexican, American, and Puerto Rican. Isn't that cool? I said, that's real cool, young lady. You go, no, you understand, Mr. Jimmy. I heard you speak when I was a 7th grader about your backpack. I decided to get my map ready in life. I said, what do you mean? When I got to high school, I started taking extra credits, dual credits. Are you familiar? You're going to learn that in high school, dual credits and all that. Take college courses. I graduated from high school. I went to summer schools with an associate's, 2-year college degree. I got a full ride to Harvard. I'm going to become a lawyer because I know where I'm going. I have mapped my life. Isn't that cool? And 8th graders, what is your map of life? Only this afternoon at 2:30, 3 o'clock we can get out of school? Is that your map? You got to start setting right now, 8th graders, to get ready. You see, when it comes to understanding words and everything else, am I correct to assume there are people that what? Bully, am I correct? Help me out, 8th graders. Why do they bully? Read this. Okay, go ahead. And what's worse than physical bully? It's called social media bullying, am I correct? Be careful, 8th graders. Everything you put on the internet, everything you text, it's somewhere, am I correct? You can't erase it, am I correct? It goes somewhere. It's going to follow you for the rest of your life. So be careful when it comes to technology. Why? That's why you got to have what? Knowledge, am I correct? And by the way, young people, here we go. How much can you put in your backpack before it becomes too heavy or overweight, am I correct? Here we go. So, I'm going to read the words in yellow. Everybody please read the words in blue. Here we go. So in your backpack, if you pack it with Here we go. If you pack it with hate, hey, if you pack it with sadness, hey, if you pack it with envy and greed, if you pack it with fear, if you pack it with doubt, if you pack it with poor choices, am I correct? It is your choice, 8th graders, 7th graders, and 6th graders who listen to me right now. It is your choice what you put in your backpack. And by the way, there's always a journey, am I correct? Let me ask you, 7th, 8th graders, 8th graders, 7th, 6th graders. Here we have 8th graders. Let me hear you right now. When are you going to graduate? Are you sure? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. I don't think so. Aye. You say, where'd you go to school? 8th graders, listen carefully. This is when you're going to graduate in the year 22. That's when you graduate from what? College. So you're the class of what? 22. Say 22. You're the class of what? 22. You're the class of what? 22. You got to start thinking now of post-secondary education. And by the way, please say this out loud. Ready, go. Am I correct? I'll never forget when my daughter's Alita graduated from college at the University of Texas, Austin. We came to a little cafe and we had a little party for her. And I said, Alita, why did you go to college? She looks at me and goes, did I have a choice? Because ever since she was a little girl, what did we talk about? College. Listen to her. This is not me. This is my daughter Alita to you, 8th graders. She goes, Daddy, when I graduated from high school, watch her words, I automatically enrolled into college. Isn't that cool? She went somewhere. First she went to community college, then transferred to a 4-year college. It's not where you start your college, it's where you finish, am I correct? And I want you to get ready because the organization that sponsored me, the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute with Dr. Juan Andrade, he's here right now. Let's give him a hand. Thank you for coming up, sir. Señor. Am I correct, sir? They need to get ready because the organization, we give out scholarships. We've given out over $1 million in scholarships. Let me tell you something right now, one thing. And by the way, my daughter was one of them. I'll never forget this. She got one of those scholarships. You know, people lose understand one thing, that people will pay you for what you want. Am I correct? You believe that? I'm going to give away a t-shirt. Anybody want one? Andale. Woo. No. You have to earn it. Put your hands down. Here we go. I'd like an 8th grader here. Name for me the last 4 to 5 presidents of the United States of America. Hold up your hand. Well, that was fast. Shh. Keep your hands up, but he was first. Glasses. Yes, sir. Go ahead. No, the last 4. Yeah. Shh. Cállate. Yeah. The other Bush. And your first name? ¿Cómo? Adele?
Isaiah.
Okay, cool. You get my age, you lose your hearing, okay? Isaiah, right? Let him come down with you. Come on down. Un aplauso, Isaiah! Come on, give it up! Stand right here, sir. Turn around. Here's my rules. When I bring somebody, it can be embarrassing. No hissing or booing because you didn't win. Is that cool? Show respect. And you guys are doing great. By the way, here's a little t-shirt for you. Hold on to that. May I ask you a question? Are you enjoying my presentation?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Here's my book, What's in Your Backpack? I'll be glad to sign it after the program. Is that cool?
Yeah.
We're also calling What's in Your what?
Backpack.
Backpack. And there's a bunch of stuff in there because it's heavy, okay? Here's your backpack. And Isaiah, I don't have $5 to give you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Isn't that a good attitude? But I do have $15 to give you. Poco sweet, no?
Gracias.
All of a sudden you got 400 friends in here, okay? Here's my thing. Teachers, listen carefully. Students. If all you remember was that this chili dog gave away money, I should have never been invited. But I promise you one thing, Isaiah, you will never forget this lesson. People pay you for what you know. What you have in your hand, Isaiah, retail value is $45, $65, $75, $80, $90 in prizes. Not bad for 10 seconds of work. Am I correct?
Gracias.
Do you think people remember what I just did? I spoke University of North Carolina a few years back, and I had about 500 seniors in there, high school and college seniors. And I get the same question in college, but I up the ante. They win a little more money, but they got named the last 7 presidents and their spouses. And there's one guy that came up and he won, and he goes, after the program, he shakes my hand and goes, Mr. Jimmy? I go, yes, sir. He goes, this is the second time I've won from you. I said, but I've never spoken here before. No. My parents used to live in Dallas. I heard you speak when I was in the 7th grade, and I won $20 back then. Isn't that cool? People pay for what you want. No. And by the way, I'm going to give you a guarantee. You like a guarantee? I will guarantee you'll pass every subject. Would you like that? I will guarantee you'll be successful. Would you like that? I'll guarantee you will graduate. You like that? Then you master this slide. Well, I'm going to show you here. It is so easy, it is hard. Are you aware of that? I'm going to show you what I mean. Because you're going to relate to this. It is so easy, but more hard for a human being, and that is never be ashamed to ask for what? Help. Am I correct? Most of us quit asking for help in the 2nd and 3rd grade. That's when people start laughing at us. By show of hands, how many of you have ever been in a classroom? Somebody in your classroom, on this whole campus, and you made a mistake in a classroom, and someone laughed at you. Hold up your hands. Thank you. Am I correct? When I couldn't say sandwich, I said sandwich. Then my little friends laugh at me. I could not spell action. To me, action was A-S-O-N. Action. They laugh at me, yes or no? Therefore, I couldn't hardly read or write. Therefore, I kept my mouth what? Shut. How many of you have started to keep your mouth shut because you've been embarrassed? Thank you. Not after today. Remember one thing from me, and I mean no disrespect, so Ms. Rosa's teachers quote me correctly. If anybody on this campus, I don't care who it is, friend, teacher, student, faculty, anybody in high school, college, ever laughs at you again, remember one thing, that person will never pay your rent. Am I correct? Why are you letting someone keep you from asking for help? Am I correct? You got to tie your seatbelt. You got to say, in my backpack, I'm not going to be ashamed to ask for help. Give you an example. My son is 40 years old. When he was in the 1st grade, we discovered he had dyslexia. You know what dyslexia is? That's when you reverse everything. He had ADD, attention deficit disorder. He was one hyper little kid. Back then, those schools had programs, Ms. Rosas, for dyslexic kids. They put them in special ed. And back in the 80s, special ed was not that good. Today is real good. He was tutored every day, young man, in this room, after school for 11 years, 1 hour before he go out and play with his friends. Young man, listen carefully. He went to summer school 11 years in a row. Because he wanted to what? Graduate. And call me silly, young man. I cried like a baby when he graduated in 1991. He did not go to college. He went to the Navy. Came out of the Navy, came back to Houston. He went to a technical school, became a commercial diver. He likes to go underwater. I'm not saying to be bragging. I want to make a point. Last year, he earned over $140,000. Is that good? My daughter, Chambray, she's 32. When she was 5th grade, she tested 2nd grade. She's 3 years behind. I never heard of this. She was tested. It's called short-term, long-term memory learning differences. She couldn't memorize everything, make 100, give it the same test in a few days, she'll make 0, because it wasn't getting in her what? Deep memory. Where she went to school at 8 o'clock in the morning, she went at 7:30 into a 30 minutes helps class. She was tutored 3 days a week. Twice a week, her mother, my wife, would lay in bed and they would read to each other to get the stuff where? In her deep memory. I'm glad she's not afraid to ask for help. She graduated from college in 2005. Thank you very much. Eighth graders, and those listening, seventh, sixth graders, remember one thing from me. My daughter, Chambray, has never seen an A on a report card. She doesn't know what an A looks like. But she has some strong C's, andale, and some B's. Is that good? Yeah. Because she did her best, am I correct? All you can ask you when people understand one thing, and please understand this, and memorize this phrase. Ready, go. Am I correct? You want to graduate? It's going to take a strong attitude, am I correct? You see, this little guy knows where he's going, am I correct? Someday I'm going to be big, I'm going to graduate, am I correct? Into something bigger. What destroys us? A thing called doubt. We all doubt ourselves. You got to turn your doubt into what? Confidence. Confianza en qué? En ti mismo. You want to build your confidence, yes or no? Yes. Then master your core subjects. What are they? Science, writing, social studies, reading, math. Am I correct? Yes. Then you take your mind anywhere you want to. Anywhere in life. Put that in your backpack. And young person, some of you got reasons why you put yourself in corners. You don't show up in time. You're tardy. You can make A's, but you're happy with C's. You don't you don't turn in your reports. And you got all kinds of what? Reasons, am I correct? They're not reasons, what are they? Excuses. Can I give you my definition of excuse? An excuse like an armpit. We both got two and they both stink. Ready, teachers, Ms. Rosas? Are you ready for this? Next time they make excuses on campus, 7th grade teachers, 6th grade teachers listening, every time they make excuses, go like this in the room. It sure smells that hair. If you know Spanish, go, que peste, cállate. You got to have fun with it. And realize, quit making those excuses, am I correct? You want to succeed? Put this in your bedroom somewhere. No excuses, just what? No excusas, solo que? Resultados. And you understand one thing, young person, I learned these words going to be 37 years ago that changed my life. If it is to be, it's what? And here's my grandson, isn't he cute? You better say yes. He's got 10 little fingers, am I correct? One word for each. We're going to have a little fun here. Would you roll with me? Yes. Say yes. Okay, here we go. Everybody also watching this in their classrooms, I want you to do the same thing we're going to do here. Teachers help me, they're watching this. Everybody in the room here, put your hands like this. Come on, everybody. Teachers and everybody, come on. Here we go. Ready? Stick them up. Cállate. Okay, repeat after me. Come on, guys, up top. Ándale. Ready? Here we go. Repeat after me. Move your fingers. If it is to be. It is up to me. If it is to be. It is up to me. Un aplauso, give it up. You know, people tell me that's silly. Let me tell you how silly it is. One that is programmed at 850 first graders. I split them in half, Team A and Team B. When I pointed Team A, they holler. If it is to be, Team B holler, it's up to me. We started screaming. Who could scream the loudest? Well, let's try that for a moment here. Here we go. Here we go. Team A and Team B. You got it? When I point to you, you will say out loud, if it is to be. Team B, you will say what? It's up to me. We're going to see which team does the best here. Take a breath of air. Here we go. Ready? If it is to be. Okay, Team B, hear it? Wow. Let me come over here and whisper so they can't hear me, okay? You guys really outdid them, okay? You want another chance? Here we go. Let me hear it. Okay, I'll give you one more chance. Everybody ready? Come on, give it up, un aplauso. Then I got them all together to say the last 5 words. It is up to me. Right here. Andale, andale. And the thing is, it is up to me. I did it for 3 minutes. I'm going to do it for 10 seconds, so please roll with me. Y'all going to be first graders for right now? When I have my hand up, whatever I say, please say, it is up to me. You got it? Not screaming in a low voice. Let's rehearse it. Now you're catching on. Here we go, you're first graders. Pay attention. Never lie. Never cheat. Never bully. Never bully. Encourage my friends. Help my friends. Ask for help. Never use drugs. Never drink alcohol. Never smoke cigarettes. Be successful. Remember your first graders. Go to the bathroom correctly. Okay, here's for the boys only. Come on, guys. For the boys only. When you go to the bathroom, pick up the lid. It's up to me. Was that impressive? Let me show you what impressed me. After the program, I walked in the hallways. This is what I witnessed. 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds walking down the hall, talking to each other. If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. Let me ask you a question. Teachers and students, where would you be? Where would I be if I believed that when I was 5 years old? It is up to what? Me. That's what's in my backpack. In English, it's 10 words. In Spanish, oh, by the way, I got to speak at his school when he was from little to 5th grade. He's now 8th grade. And girls, you cannot have his phone number. Because I've been asked, okay, by 7th, 8th grade girls, can I call him? Can I call him? He wrote me a letter after I spoke at his school, and he goes, Dear Popo, thank you for coming to my school. I now understand what you've been telling me. It's up to me for my success. And I'm going, yes! I got another one. In English, it's 10 words. In Spanish, it is only 7 words. Repeat after me. Sí. Tiene que ser. Depende. De mí. Am I correct? You don't like Spanish? How about a little French? Would you like me to read this? Yes. I can't. Okay, I'm going to try. Here we go. Ready? If it is to be, it is up to me. Andale. You don't like French? How about a little what? German? You're doing good. How about l'Italiano? You're really doing good. Here's the challenge. How about a little Chino, bato? Hey, how about a little Navajo? A little Portuguese? A little Dutch? How about a little Russian? Eskimo? How about a little Braille? How about a little sign language? There you go, sir. And by the way, we talked about what? Almost something I learned from Jason. He's 16 years old. Where? From Tucson. I learned this nearly 18 years ago when I spoke here at the school. He said, Mr. Jimmy, I'll go, what? Attitude is everything. I said, what do you mean? He said, take the alphabet. I said, okay. He goes, the A is the first letter. That means each letter has a corresponding number. I'll go, yes. He goes, well, let's put the numbers up there. I said, okay. 1, 20, 29, 20, 21, 4, and 5. I said, that's real cute, Jason. He goes, Mr. Jimmy, add those numbers together. Ready? Hola. 100. They equal to exactly 100. Isn't that cool? And here you guys thought you knew everything. Attitude is everything. You see, behind each door of life, there's a what? Consequence. Before you go in these doors, young people, you better know what's on the other side. Am I correct? Here's my 3 children, Alita, Marcus, and Chambray, when they were younger, your age, especially her. By the way, she skipped 8th grade. She went from 7th grade to 9th grade. She's very gifted. But she was also very rebellious. Found out she was on drugs in high school. But by the grace of God, she's alive. Her friend Karen isn't. Her friend Karen died from ODing on drugs. But I do have good news. She's been drug-free for over, going to be 19 years. Come on, give it up for her. This is for her, not me. Put this in your backpack. She goes, Daddy, I did not quit drugs for you. I quit drugs for me. But this is what got my attention. And put this in your backpack, 8th graders. I will no longer put anything in my body where I'm no longer in control. You see, when you drug up and dope up, you're not in what? Control. This young lady right here, Chambray, when she was 17, the summer before senior in high school, I get a phone call, collect. Where do you think she's at? Mexico. Not Mexico, but jail. She got caught stealing a $20 shirt. Ladies, you call that a blouse. The blouse cost her $3,500. You know what's sad? She never wore it. Court costs, attorney fees, 1 year probation. Her curfew was 10 p.m. How would you like that? You're senior in high school. Where I live in North Houston, they call 5 times a week. You're not home 1 time. They pick you up. You go straight to jail. No questions asked. She got off probation 6 weeks before graduation. She missed the senior trip, senior prom. She could not leave the county. Now that she was convicted, she has now a record. Am I correct? And that record will follow for the rest of her life. Every time she applies for a job, she's got a list. Check. Am I correct? Because when they do a background check, what's going to pop up? You see, young people, here's the key. Your reputation will follow you for the rest of your life. Say that. One more time. You recognize this, Latinos? Dime con ganadas, dile quién eres. Am I correct? What's that say? Tell me who you hang with, I will tell you who you are. What am I saying, 8th graders? Choose your friends wisely. Am I correct? Especially off campus. Because all you're doing is making what? Choices. And by the way, you make the right choice. I'm not sure which way you're going to go. Help me out. Which way do you really want to go? Say that. Left, am I correct? Because we're going to hit walls, am I correct? We're all going to hit walls. We're going to have any challenges. Look at this little guy here. I love this little guy here. You know what he's thinking? Bring it on, Bato. I love this little guy. By the way, I don't know your challenges here at Apollo, your neighborhood. I don't know, maybe you know your parents hope they're not getting divorced, or they were divorced. You may be living with your grandparents. Your parents may have lost their job. Maybe you have trouble in your courses, your subject. I have no clue. I can only relate to my challenges. I could hardly read in the 8th grade. And I'm thankful for a teacher, Mrs. Watson, 8th grade. She didn't have to. Stayed after school for 6 months to teach this little Mexican how to read. And now I love to read. Anything I can get my hands on. You see, I don't know your challenges. But by the way, please remember this and say this out loud. Ready, go. You know why? Because your backpack is going to be ready. Am I correct? It's going to be ready. And you have the courage to become a what? An Say Andale And yes, I want you to say these words out loud when I pop them up here. Si se puede, yes or what? Get ready with these words. I'll guarantee you success because I want you to become what? Not writer, Ritter. What am I saying, 8th graders? Get rid of your stinking attitude. And you know who you are in this room. You see, success comes with a price, am I correct? Commitment and what? All we're doing is navigating through failure and what? You cannot have success without what? It's impossible. I'm not talking about your grades, I'm talking about what? Trying. Let me give you an example here of words I learned and say them out loud. Ready, go. One more time. Let me give you an example about people that did not give up. You recognize this guy? Thomas Edison. Did he give up? No. I'm glad he didn't give up. Took him 1,000 times to discover the light bulb, am I correct? How about this guy here? Ben? Don't know him? Find out who this guy is here. When he was little, his dad left. His mother raised him and his brother by herself. He didn't do very good in school. Found out he needed glasses. This man right here, Dr. Ben Carson, became the first surgeon in England. From America, he went overseas and he separated two twins that their heads were together. He was the first man to ever successfully separate it, and both babies lived. I'm glad he didn't give what? Up. This lady, her name is Laura. Found out she had breast cancer on both breasts. Her husband couldn't handle it, left her and 3 children. What a jerk. With chemotherapy and all that, took her 18 months to find a job. She finally found a job selling cars. Now she owns 3 car dealerships. This little girl here, they told her, you guys don't go to college. Her name Ochoa, first Latina to go what? Into space. You know him? He lost more elections than he won, am I correct? Recognize this guy? He dropped out of school, but he didn't give up. You like what he invented. His name is Steve Jobs, Apple. This lady here, they told her she had no talent. They sent her home from New York, but she didn't go home. She worked in restaurants, cleaning floors, anything to learn how more. Some of you may watch her reruns. I love Lucy, Lucille Ball. He lost more battles than he won. This guy here, they laughed at him, had a dream. Went bankrupt, came back, and he started what? Disneyland. This guy here, he went bankrupt 7 times, but he didn't give up. 7 times, did not give up. He tried one more thing. I'm glad he didn't quit. You know why? Some of you love what he invented. His name, Milton Hershey. Hershey chocolate. You recognize her? Good old Oprah. Did you know the first TV job she had, they fired her and told her she has no talent. Now she owns a network. She's one of the first African-American entrepreneurs that's a billionaire. This guy right here, KFC, Colonel Sanders. Listen carefully. This guy here, ready? 1,000 restaurants refused his recipe for fried chicken. At 62 years old, with $262 Social Security check, he started his little chicken stand. This guy right here, see this little mecanito? He was undocumented, came to the United States. They told him he's not going to college, and he did. Dr. Henny Hosa, top neurosurgeon. It's amazing. Michael, did you know that in high school, he didn't make the team? He went home, locked himself in the bedroom, and cried. He got so mad, guess what he did? He went out there and started shooting more hoops outside on the parking lot. Look at him now. He didn't give up. Albert Einstein, When he was your age, was he bullied? His friends called him, you mentally retarded dude. I'm glad he didn't give up. You see, young person, one of my heroes. I like what he said. Ready? Read it. Give yourselves a hand. Come on, 8th graders. Now, never what? What's this little frog doing? You know what this frog saying? I ain't going down, Bato. By the way, this cartoon has been around 36 years, teachers. I've had it for 33. I've framed for my children, framed for my grandchildren, because I never want them to what? Give up. What am I saying? Never stop what? Some of you forgot how to dream when you were kids. You remember? This little guy was darker than me, okay? Don't you ever stop what? Dreaming. This little girl right here, 10 years old, they told her, your kind don't go to college. Having to be poor, she's Puerto Rican out of New York. She didn't go to college, become a lawyer. They laughed at her. You'll never be a judge. They're not laughing now. Supreme Court Justice of the United States of America, Sonia Sotomayor. Let me ask you a question. Have you learned something, yes or no? Yes. Are you glad you came? Yes. You see, young people, you have a choice. 8th graders, 7th graders, 6th graders, listen to me. Who are you going to be in the future? Either God says, I'm sure glad I did, or what? I wish I did. And by the way, here we go. What step have you reached right here in your life? Please read this. Ready, go. Un aplauso. Have you learned something? Are you glad you came? Yes. I have a homework assignment. Chile out, this is easy, okay? I want all these people here, also 8th, 6th graders, 7th graders, to listen to me on the tube. You're all required to write me a letter. Listen, put Dear Jimmy and tell me what you learned today. Is that cool? Yeah. Also, let me ask you a question. Would you like to read my book? Yeah. How many want to read the book? All right. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to leave you 5 books. Mrs. Rosa, those that turn in letters, we're going to put all your names in a hat. We're going to draw it for some winners so they can read the book. Is that cool? Yeah. Possibly get one in the library too. So keep in mind, this is possible because of an organization that believes in you, and that's the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute. One more time, let's give them a hand with an applause. Thank you. Now, we're going to make a transition here in a second. I need to ask Ms. Rosas a question. A sec, give me a ball. I'd like to do one more thing. It's called a call of commitment, but I need about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Did you want Mr. Dr. to say a few words after me?
Yeah, that would be great if you'd like to.
When I finish, can you say a few words? Okay. Shh. I'm going to do an exercise here, but on this one here, no video. No video on this one.